So over the next 15 minutes, I would want you to ponder over something. Let us look back and see what has happened in our lives around us over the last few years in various domains. To begin with, technology. If we talk about technology today, over the last few years, we have seen an AI revolution. Have we? Have we? Yes, we have seen the advent of electric cars. We have seen the emergence of quick commerce, e-commerce. That is technology. If you move towards the healthcare segment, you see that we have moved from curative medication to preventive medication. The world is moving towards robot-assisted surgeries. And when it comes to pharma segment, from chemical compounds, we are moving to biological compounds. We are moving to drugs that work on genetics, that work on cellular level. Moving ahead, if we talk about geopolitics, things are disruptive. If you see the US-China rivalry, it is at its peak. You see the geographical, economic fragmentation is happening. Not just technology or business or geopolitics, you take warfare. Even the dimension of warfare has changed. What used to be kinetic warfare is now non-kinetic, non-contact warfare. We have moved towards cyber warfare, we have moved towards information warfare, and we have robo armies, we have drone technology. So what is it all indicating? This indicates disruption. This indicates change. This indicates volatility. This indicates complexity, ambiguity. And that's what I call the age of disruption. Yes, my friends, we are currently living in the age of disruption, or what is popularly known as living in the VUCA world, wherein the V stands for volatility, U stands for uncertainty, C stands for complexity, and A stands for ambiguity. That's the harsh reality. The world is changing rapidly, technologies are changing rapidly, society is changing, and this causes a threat. This is a challenge before mankind. Also, the current scenario brings around opportunities. The picture is not only dull or dark, it has a bright side. Probably the kind of growth the world has seen over the last 2 centuries, before the internet era, the same growth has been achieved in probably 2 decades of the internet era or the internet generation. And the growth that was achieved in 2 centuries of industrial revolution, in 2 decades of internet revolution, the same growth can be achieved in probably 2 to 5 year span in the AI generation. And that is why this VUCA word brings up challenges, brings up threat, but at the same time, it brings in opportunities. It brings in opportunities for those who understand what VUCA is, how to handle it, how to navigate through it. And I would like to steer you through this. So when I say volatility, what does it mean? Volatility is basically, it refers to rapid changes, unprecedented changes, changes that we weren't expecting. If I were to quote certain example, just see the emergence of electric cars. How a company called Tesla or a BYD has come in and changed the automotive segment largely. Not just Tesla and BYD. You see the hybrid technology. It has changed the automotive segment forever. Not just this. If you see what NVIDIA is doing to the semiconductor industry, it has transformed electronics. And if I was to share an example with you, which is more common with you, take the example of Samsung. They've come up with folding phones. They've come up with trifold phones as well. So this is the sort of volatility we are exposed to today. And if I talk about uncertainty, the biggest example is COVID. Who was expecting COVID? Who was expecting COVID? No one was. We did not know what is going to happen post-COVID. That's the kind of uncertainty we are living in. Complexity. If I talk about complexity, the word is more interconnected. The word is more interdependent. And multiple variables, multiple layering is the reality of today. We are not living in isolation. The world is much more dependent on each other so as to what it was probably a century back. And the biggest example before us is the Iran-Israel-US conflict. I'm sure you would have heard of news of LPG shortage across India. I mean, it has nothing to do with us. It is between Israel, Iran, and USA. Having said that, we are still being impacted. And that's the complexity of today's world. This is not only in geopolitics. If you move towards technology, again there is interdependence. There are too many variables which are interacting with each other and are dependent on each other. And specifically in technology, if you see the digital interface today, if you see the digital payment structure, it is all interconnected. Right? And lastly, ambiguity. Ambiguity is basically when you don't understand or have clarity on cause and effect relationship. What parameter is going to impact in what way and how it is going to impact real world. It is unclear. And this situation is known as ambiguity. And these four parameters clubbed together are referred as VUCA. And we are in VUCA world. Is it sounding very discouraging? I repeat, is it sounding very discouraging that VUCA word is very, very complex and there is too much of problem? Is it? That's not the case. Like I clearly mentioned earlier, with every challenge comes an opportunity. Human mankind is very, very powerful, and come what may, human mankind has a solution to everything. And the reply to VUCA is nothing but another VUCA, which is known as VUCA prime. So volatility can be negated by vision. Uncertainty can be mitigated by understanding. Complexity can be mitigated by clarity. And ambiguity can be negated by agility. So this is collectively known as VUCA prime. The answer to the VUCA problem is VUCA prime. So next 5 minutes I would take and brief you on what VUCA prime is. So assuming volatility be the cause of concern and vision being clear makes things easier. If you can understand what the trend is, what the problem is, if you have clarity of thought, if you have clarity of purpose, and you have a long-term vision and a long-term goal, you can easily negate the effect of volatility. Likewise, when it comes to uncertainty, strategic thinking, strategic leadership, and system thinking is the solution. When it comes to Complexity. Clarity is the solution. Clarity of what has to be done, how it has to be done, the ability to break complex problem into simple linear problems and setting the priorities right will help countering the challenge. And that's where clarity will be of big help. Lastly, when it comes to ambiguity, when things are not clear to you, when you don't know the cause-effect relationship, when you can't estimate what impact is going to happen, how do you counter that? It's agility, adaptability, and flexibility. You have to constantly understand what's happening, break down the problems into smaller problems, figuring out the deltas, and then working on those small deltas. Small steps lead to bigger solutions and bigger achievements. So the solution to VUCA problems is again VUCA Prime. And if I was to summarize the leadership traits, I would say strategic thinking, adaptability, agility, flexibility, decentralization of decision making, and most importantly, human-centric leadership. Leadership wherein emotional quotient is given as much weightage as intellectual quotient, if not more than that. So all these parameters clubbed together will help us navigate the VUCA word and will help us navigate the era of disruption. And with this, I'd like to thank you for being patient and listening me carefully. Thank you so much. All the best to all the future speakers. God bless you all. Thank you.